Well, we're live and welcome back. In today's session, I'm going to talk about breaking free from limitations, rediscovering purpose, and living fully. So, hey everyone, I'm William. I'm here to help you awaken the leader within you because you matter. And let me share a little story that fell on my heart, and I'd like to bring this to you because a lot of times we get taught things in life to be what we're not to be or shouldn't be because we're focusing on things that are not true to us, but we're taught to be that way. So let me share a little bit of my story, and I think you can relate to this, even plug out me for you in your stories. But when I was young, dreamed of becoming a pilot, and this was really dear to me. I've had this dream since I was, as far as back as I remember, 5, 6, 7 years old, or even younger, because my grandfather took me to the airport. And I just loved watching the planes come in and take off and land. And I don't know, it's just part of me and always has been. Something I valued and really enjoyed and intrigued me. Very curious how the planes operated. And as I got older, it developed, I think around 7 or 8 years old, that I really wanted to be a fighter pilot. And then the reason why I wanted that is because the Navy and Air Force uses a great recruiting tool called the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds. So you get these high performance jets going, and you're already into aviation. I'm thinking that's what I want to be and proclaiming it. And well, that burned bright in me until a day I injured myself. I damaged my hand real bad. I nearly cut it off, changing a lawnmower blade. And I was told by the recruiting officer when I was going in, I'm sorry, you no longer can fly. And as you can imagine, my entire life built up to that point, everything I trained in JROTC, which is Reserve Officers Training Corps, and in college, the same thing, and really had an ambition to go learn how to fly and serve my country. I really want to do that, and I really want to be a pilot. So that was yanked out from under me, and looking back on it, it's probably there's a great reason why God had a different reason. But as you can imagine, my great dream was gone. Everything I planned for, everything I worked for, evaporated in minutes. And my hope just, I don't know, it just flattened me, completely crushed me. And so I spent a lot of decades after spinning off course, not knowing who I was anymore, what I was going to do, and I got disconnected, and I got disconnected from life. I got disconnected with my core, all the way up to my deathbed not too long ago. At the brink of losing everything, this is where God intervened in my life and set the record straight. He reminded me, even though what I've done, where I've been, and what's happened in my life, as long as I got breath in my lungs and I can speak and I can move, I still have purpose. I can still have compassion and I can have passion to serve others and live to the fullest. And I do. And that's pretty much the reason why I'm here is to ignite people's passion back into life and find their way back to what God created them to be. And without that, we get caught up in a society of doing this, not knowing who we are. And that does not bring any joy and fulfillment in our life. I'm sorry, it just does not. And that's what we need to help you find. So using the power that of my voice that God gave me, I'm applying what I've learned, my experiences, speaking up, standing out of the drift, and I want to use words of faith, life, freedom, and joy. That, by the way, is what I stand for: is faith, freedom, and joy. That's very important to me. Is because I realign myself and I know what they are and I know what my values are now. And that's a critical thing is knowing yourself and what you're created for and your purpose in life. So I want to go look at a couple of stats or tell you a couple of stats. And this is what I'm telling you is very important. And I pray that you're got your ears open and can hear what I'm saying. But if you step back and start looking at the 10,000-foot level vision of the world, and I found a stat in Gallup, which is a very credible source. And back in 2023, It paints a clear picture of how far off track we've come. 59% of the workers worldwide are quit, or what's called quiet quitting, meaning they resigned and they don't emotionally attach to what they're doing anymore. It has no meaning. They don't care. 18% are loud yelling it out, I'm quitting. And then 44% report a lack, or not a lack, but a lot of stress at work. If you look at that, that's 2/3 of the global workforce emotionally disengaged, without dream or vision leading the way. They're just incontinent doing this, and they don't engage fully in what they're doing. And that's not just a problem, that's a life problem. And how we end up in those spots in the first place is because we had to settle for it. And a lot of times it's because we got to pay our bills. But where is the vision part, the dream part? Have we let go of that? Have we not gotten attached to who we were, and we'd lost our way and forgot who we were meant to be in the first place? And we drifted so far from God, who purposed us and created us with a specific purpose in our life. So, looking at that, what do? Well, it becomes a choice. And the choice is making a decision in your life. I'm going to find myself again. I'm going to be a source of a transformed world because I'm going to stand up and find out what it is that makes me happy, joy filled, brings happiness and peace in my life. And I'm going to be part of a giving game called life and not a taking game because I want things. So we look at it, if we're only getting part of the equation right. And the biggest thing that landed on me today when I was reading the book, and that caused this whole, not caused, but generated this whole podcast today, is most of our education, courses, training are focused to enhance our deficiencies, i.e., meaning our weak spots, and then also getting us to a spot where to be or to do things we're not really meant to be or do. The studies have shown if we focus on our strengths, for example, what is it that you excel in, something that comes easy for you to do, and hone in on that, we found that it becomes highly multiplied in the results that you get back in your life versus focusing on your deficiencies like perfectionism, self ambition, or things that we can't organize very well, and then we need more training to organize, but that's not our skill. It's just like for me to become accountant. Yeah, I can do some accounting work. I've taught myself to do it, and I've learned from others. And look, think from a tax strategy perspective. Do I like it? No, I can't stand it. But I have somebody that I know and work with who just entirely loves taxes, but they don't love being in front of people, and they're just happy as all get out, and they got business coming in, and they're happy as a lark. Okay, but instead of trying to teach them to become a speaker and get out and do things that they're really not geared for or meant to be in, or didn't have the gift that God blessed them with, why force a square peg in a round hole? And that's what we tried to do a lot of times, and we need to switch that mindset. And who are you first, and what are you, and what gifts do you bring? If we start thinking along those lines and start amplifying what you bring to the table naturally, what lights you up, what's your passions, what are your core values, what are your strengths, and what makes you tick, and start looking at that, and then looking at what's holding you back from moving forward. Because starting even at very early age, you're learning things that the world has taught you that may not support you anymore. And I've said this multiple times. You really got to stop and see what you believe is true, or what you perceive as the way to be might be the very thing that's stopping you from growing and becoming what you're truly meant to be and have success in your life. And so, going back to your true purpose, I want you to start for a minute. This is a useful thing. I am, and let come out. I am an authentic person. I value compassion. I value truth. I value faith. I value love. I value joy. Whatever it is, just say it over and over again until it starts coming out, and you start discovering what it is that is true to your core. And this is one thing I'm offering as we go through this next year is start finding your power word. And then let's after that, let's find your vision. After that, let's start finding your core values. So I have a step-by-step courses put together to help find who you are, find your purpose, and be a facilitator to help you grow and put you in a community that surrounds you with opportunity, guidance, and experience and resources and possibilities. We all should be doing that and working and helping with each other. But we don't usually end up doing that. We usually have to fight and make our way through, and we get trapped. But it's a mind shift. It's a way of being. It's a way of thinking, and it's not that hard. We try to make it hard, but it's not that hard. So to get back on track, as I mentioned, is redefine who you are at the core and quit letting people define you. Just like the Air Force recruiter told me I could not fly anymore. And I accepted that as being the truth. I couldn't fly anymore. It was not true. I may have not been a fighter pilot, or I may have if I was able to go in and work my way back into it. There may be a great chance I could have been. It just wasn't at the front door saying that no, you can't come in. Uh, that's something we have to be careful with. And so, an authoritative person tells you what we perceive or is an authoritative person. Doesn't mean they're right. That doesn't mean that you can't. I mean, it's just like going to the doctors and saying that you only have 2 weeks to live. Man, I've heard that several times, even for myself. But here I am 5 years later after all that, and I'm still living. So, what right do we have to tell people what they are and what they can and can't do? I mean, don't get me wrong, don't go out and do illegal things and just break rules left and right. But what I'm saying is don't let them define you. Do not believe that, okay, a doctor tells you you have a week to live. In fact, that gives me more reason to fight because I don't believe in somebody telling me how long I've got left to live. That's God's decision and his authority, not man's on it. And like I said, I've seen so many people been told that. Um, and no, fire your doctor. Get somebody that will bring words of life. Well, just say, I don't know. I'm not God, but it's not looking good. But we certainly pray over it. If it's His will, live a long, prosperous life or keep going. Just things like that. Just be real careful about what people tell you and accept it into your life as this is you. Now, a lot of times it's not. So focus on being. Focus on being. That's where you're going to start and where you're going to find. So look at it this way: the word is the first part of creation. You need a word. You need to speak it into existence, right? All right. You need a vision, correct? So the word plus vision equals creation in potential. Putting faith in action brings the creation to fruition. All right. So there's an order to all this and the way to be and the way to execute in steps, and we're not taught that. And it takes somebody to actually learn it, know it, apply it, and show you. But if it's in God's order of things, you can take that to the bank. And this is what I just told you is in God's order. So learn to be first. Quit doing in order to hope to be and get a result that you don't like and go back to doing again, doing your checklist. Well, I did this and I changed that, but you're doing again, and you're making a bunch of doo doo along the way and getting upset. Wondering why I still got a bunch of doo doo at the front porch. Instead of looking out on your front porch and enjoying what your fruits of labor were supposed to be in the first place. So that goes into surround yourself to the right people that can see those blind spots and see the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. So you quit making the doo doo at your front doorstep. And they can tell you, hey, you're making doo doo. You need to stop. We need to look at this. Come back around. Let's start changing and exploring what's causing this in the first place. Open the hood, find out what spark plugs are missing in the cylinder, pull them out, plug in new ones that are firing the right way. Remap that brain. It can, and it has, and it will remap, even with injury. I'm proof of that too. There's neuroplasticity. Your brains create new neural pathways. one part is damaged, it will create another way for it to occur on it. And then even your habits, and you change your beliefs, you start changing habits because you're remapping new ways of being. So we go back to the word being again. And more importantly, if you want something out of life, you need to learn to give first. In the Bible, it tells us to be first, you must become last. And what that truly means is you need to be a servant and come with a servant's heart and come out giving value to people. And just think if you were pouring value out like right now, I'm here, I'm doing this because I care enough about everybody out there that I would love to see them change into a way of being that promotes fulfilling, fruitful living. Because he changed that attitude right there and share that attitude in fruitful ways. Next thing you know, you're going to have a transformed world that isn't so angry all the time and wanting to hurt people. Hurt people want to hurt people. Happy people want to spread joy and get them happy and see them become happy. A big difference, big mindset shift. So learn how to speak and create and come from a giver's heart. Remember, givers is a giver's game out there. So don't take. Learn to give and think about that. Think about what if you take, somebody's got to lose. But if you give, and if you live and know our Savior and know our Father God, you can't outgive him. He'll match you. You come with a shovel, he'll come with a big, huge bucket when you start operating in that manner. So check your operating system. How are you operating out there? So if you're ready to step into this journey and start exploring what's possible in your life, and you're sick and tired of where you're at, you're paying costs that continues to cost you in the ways that you don't like. You don't pay a cost to become successful, but what if that cost is the same? What if it costs you less to become successful than it's costing you right now to sit where you're at? But I can tell you that when you get sick and tired enough and you had enough and it's making you upset and it hurts enough and the pain that comes from it and hurting other people, that's when you start to open up and say, what's going on here? I need to change the way I am being. I need to get out of this mess and I need to do something for my life and for my family. And what is it? So if you're feeling limited, you're feeling stuck, not sure what next to do, well, just remember you were created for a purpose. This world needs you. You have a unique gift that only you have and only you can share. None of us can do it. It's in your DNA imprint, and you matter. And we need your light to shine. And we need more lights to turn on past you and to pass the torch to other people and change this world. For me, I would love to see my grandchildren have a world of peace and that fun world to grow in than what I'm seeing right now on it. And that's not going to change until we, the people, will stand up for what's right, what's wholesome, and use our voice and let these people that are running amok and getting away with murder, basically, this is going to stop. And the only way you do that is you unite for a common reason and with a common voice that speaks life, not death. And that people are giving and people are living up to their potential and thriving and not stuck in lack. Huge difference. You get a community like that, it's on fire, it lights up, people want to know what's going on, and they'll come over, say, what are you doing? What's going on? What's causing all this? How are you going about all this? Be inspiring. You start doing that, the world changes. And so, where do we start? Well, start at the basis. All right. I'm offering on December 28th a cool, fun thing, actually, and it starts again with the equation, go back to the word. What is your power word that is going to guide you into a different way of being to get a different result, but a result that you want to occur and be on track to see it come to realization? So December 28th, I have a simple workshop. We're going to create and create that word. I encourage you to come sign up for it. It's a grounding rod to where you're going to lead your life for 2025. It's going to lead you into the next section. It's going to be your vision. We're going to create vision boards after that, and not just spaghetti, and it's not a hobby. I mean, true vision boards that have purpose and meaning and alignment to God's purpose for you in your life and have it mean something. Because when you take a vision out of your head and you put it onto a piece of paper on a board and you look at it, it's like looking in the mirror. Instead of looking at the mirror and being vain and walk away, forget what it is. Now you've got something that reminds you of why and what you're after. And when you see that every day, it reprograms the mind. This is what the vision is. I have the word that ties it together. What was the next part? Creation. So if you want to start seeing things in your life that want to manifest, i.e., vacation, whatever it is, marriage restored, income's gone up, whatever it is that you're meant or what you want to have happen in your life and what you want to receive in your life, it starts there in the Word, and then the vision, then the creation, finding out your core, lining yourself up, drawing that bow back and release. And you have people around you, and I have people around me, and resources and coaching, nutrition, you name it. There's a whole community that supports you. You can go through a leadership program that will transform your life forever. And next thing you know, you're living a life that you always wanted to live. Just because somebody is out here like myself and many others pouring love into, saying that you can do it, come join us, is the cry that we're screaming. Because we do want you to have a tremendous life. We only get it once. I want to live it purposely, enjoy to my potential, in servitude. So I can have brothers and sisters to walk along with in this life and enjoy it and have a meaningful direction and purpose in our lives that advances the kingdom. That's who I am. That's what I'm back here for on the second life, is to be a facilitator, a guide, an educator, teacher, a friend, mentor, somebody to have fun with, and hopefully be on an island or a cruise or take a trip together. Enjoy each other when we get to the other side. And why not? The only thing stopping you from doing that and having a life of your dreams is you. Because anybody makes a choice and gets it and does the work. And it's fun work. You get to grow and you get to learn about yourself, but it's fun work, but it does take work. And when you're enjoying yourself and enjoying what you're doing and in your passion, you're not really working. You're having fun. And you're being around some tremendous leaders and some great folks that you're just your whole vibrational frequency of your body elevates. It really does. Next thing you know, you're running on air and not even knowing that you're tired because you're having great fun. You're fulfilling your dream. You're having joy. So join us December 28th. Take your first step. Take word. Find your word that leads you into a tremendous journey of transformation. All great adventures, all great things, all great successes started with what? One step, and then one step after the other until you go through that journey and all of a sudden you realize you're there. That's it. Start with the word. All right. So let me reiterate again. Anybody out there that resonates with Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, so as one person sharpens another. And I mean that's it works. You know, when God tells you the word, it doesn't come back void, and that's the truth. So I invite anybody out there that would love to come and be in the spirit of contribution and service. DM me. I love talking to people and I love learning. I'm a curious guy. And again, there's a lot of things I don't know, and thank God I don't, because if I did know all these things, why would I be up here and talk about it? But I invite people to come and have some real wholesome, clean conversations that's authentic. This is my word for next year: authenticity. This year was ease because I made it hard on myself for decades. Before that was discernment. So there again, work on the word that means something to you. Couples in relationships, I'm going back a little bit, backtracking, and I meant to say this, especially the people who have gone, their children have, getting older and their children are gone, it becomes even more important to keep your marriage going and reignite the things that's got you together in the first place and have a 10 out of 10 relationship, and not have one on the other couch and the other in the garage, and that's your life, and come to the dinner table. That's no life. It's no fun. Start with a word. Guess what? You both have one word together, working together. You have a direction, and a direction that can be exciting and explorative, reignite some flames that you didn't know was possible, and appreciate why you had that partner in the first place. Save your marriage, make it fun, live life to it's time to go home to their father. So again, I'm going right back to I invite anybody out there who would love to come and join me, and let's have a great conversation. So, in today's words of encouragement too, I want to bring you Philippians 4:19, and going back to what I was talking about. Let's quit living in lack and start living a way of prosperity. Okay, and prosperity doesn't mean get wealthy, get rich, and everything. If you are, that's fantastic. And if you become that, that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. But in abundance is used throughout the Bible tremendously a lot. And God wants you to be in abundance. He really does. But you got to get some junk out from under the hood and get it out and throw it in the garbage can and get yourself straightened up and your ship going in the right direction so you can live in abundance. There's also an order for that to happen as well. And go read 2 Peter 1 and get the order for moral excellence and start working there. That's a good start. But Philippians 4:19, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Jesus Christ. That's his riches. He gave us everything on this planet. It's his to begin with. We're just stewards of it. So learn how to be in stewardship of it. So what you are trusted with in small things, you can grow into large things and be trusted with that. And it is his riches, and he wants to bless you with his riches. But you got to be able to receive it and be trusted with it. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. Okay, well, I know. Do you know? And that's the thing that we need to find out. And this is what I do, is help you. I'll be a journeyman with you to find out what it is your purpose and your passions are and your values to get you back on a course that matters. So, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you. All right. You hear that loud and clear? Prosper you. That means to be in abundance, to live in growth and in what would be the right word for that? He provides the increase. God always provides the increase. All right. So he wants to prosper. He wants to increase, and he's not out to hurt you. He'll test you and see if you're ready, but he's not out there to hurt you. I want to clarify one other thing is there's a lot of hurt going on in this world, but it's not from God. We chose all the way back to Adam, actually chose for us to bite the apple and be in disobedience, and disobedience and put us into sin. This is a judged world. If anybody doesn't know that already, if you're a Christian, you may not even know that and wonder why babies get killed and guys and girls go out and get shot in school shootings. It's because this world's fallen. It was already judged. So the only way to come out of this and where he does not want to hurt you is become a child of God through Jesus Christ. All right, that doesn't mean nothing's going to happen to you, but he doesn't want to hurt you. And a lot of times we choose to get hurt. So pay attention to that word. So again, I'll read it one more time. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So go get Jeremiah 29:11, print it out, stick it up on the wall, and read it over and over again. To give you hope, a future, not to harm you, but to prosper you, and knows your plans. Start there. Let's start finding out your plans He has for you. Get you back on course. And lastly, on Matthew 6:20, I love this one. Lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. That's why I'm saying get in the giver's game. You can't lay up treasures in heaven if you're taking, where neither moth or rust destroys, which everything on this earth decays, even if it holds value and doesn't decay for a long, long time. You may not value it 10 years later. All right. It's temporal. Things are temporal again. So lay those things up in heaven where neither moth or rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal it from you. Okay. So what does that tell you? You can't steal out treasures from heaven. It's impossible. There's no sin there. There's no thieves. So lay up an eternity of wealth and abundance. And the only way you can do that is start loving on other people. And the way you start loving on people, start loving with yourself. When you start loving on yourself, you matter and your worth goes up. And guess what? Your self worth goes up. And it all connects together. And then you're out there helping other people make a difference in their life. And guess what? I'm going right back to the word. Pick your word. Why do you want to pick up your word? Why does it matter? His words do not return void. So pick your word. Come join us on December 28th. And I'm going to close. And I appreciate everybody's tolerance and patience with me tonight. I'm a little long-winded. And I did go a little bit circles. Apologize for that. But I want to make sure everybody understands you were created for a purpose and you matter. And I care. And I know a lot of people that are around me that care too, who want to see you succeed in life. So we want you to knock on the door. Come DM me. Be bold. Take the first step. I'm open for communications. It may not be right for you, and that's fine. But guess what? We can have a decent, honest conversation, person to person. And I love for the world to get back that and just have a conversation. If we don't agree, that's great. I don't have to be right. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters to me is God's word is truth, and He's right. As long as I follow that, I know I'm going to be, on solid ground and be okay with that. And, like I said, we all make mistakes. That's just part of being human, and it's okay. So call, DM, let's have a conversation. Let's see, get you uplifted. All right. So I'm going to close again with Philippians 4:8 because it matters to me. This is the curiosity part that stops me and grounds me in this verse. It really does. Finally, my brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things because they were created by God and we should stop and ponder. Smell the flowers for once instead of running around so busy, do all over the place. We stop and forget to look at the creations and appreciate things. It's what God gave us and created for us. Even on a beautiful sunset, and you see the clouds and all the oranges and reds and purples and yellows and all the colors. It looks like a paintbrush. He brushes the sky different every day with a new picture. And every morning, a new picture full of mercy and grace that you're alive and able to wake up on it. So think about those things. You matter. Now let's find you. And let's make a difference in your life. All right. God bless. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for listening to this guy ramble. And I love you. DM me. Come join the course. 28th of December. Links in the description. Click on it. Register for a meal. Basically, could transform your life. That's pretty small investment to get a great return, isn't it? All right. Anyway, love you guys. See you next time. God bless.